So welcome everyone. My name is Michael Hill, and I want to thank you for joining us on this webinar today. First, I want you to know that I appreciate you taking time to listen to this webinar. While it's true that every business needs clients, it's also true every business needs to make the most of every dollar it generates. And that's why I'm doing this webinar. I want to reveal some secrets to generating lasting wealth, secrets that are very hard to discover. I only discovered them because I was tired of working my tail off and never getting ahead. I was extremely tired of paying most of my hard-earned money to everyone else but me. And mostly, I was tired of working for my business. Working 90 hours a week, being the first one there and the last one to leave. And I knew there had to be a better way. I spent many years learning how to build businesses. Since 1983, I created over 20 businesses. The first 4 businesses I started were pretty much designing prototypes. It took many years to discover what doesn't work, and I am an expert on things that didn't work. And after decades of starting businesses, watching them grow, but ultimately experiencing their failure, I realized that I was missing something. After years of searching and spending a considerable amount of money, I discovered what I didn't know. The method I chose to do business wasn't scalable. And it was never meant to scale because revenues were consumed by taxes. So growth in business is difficult without positioning the company to keep most of its revenue. In simple terms, if you pay less taxes, you'll get better chance for success. And today, I want to reveal some secrets. Secrets that will make a tremendous difference in how you do business. These secrets reveal a path to wealth. And secret number 1, there is a system, and this system has existed for generations. The wealthy know this system, and they use this system. And then comes secret number 2, as you can learn and use the exact same system. It's there for everybody to use. It's just not clear how to use it, and it's also not evident that you can use it. Secret number 3, this system creates wealth, generational wealth. It's built around business structures, but its ultimate purpose is to create generational wealth. Today, our primary goal is to teach people to grow long-term wealth and to protect that wealth over time. As I am sure you are aware, there are some obstacles to overcome. Getting your license wasn't easy. Keeping compliance with state regulations is pretty much a chore. And then how do you protect personal and business assets from lawsuits or from other partners? How do you position your heirs? How do you prevent probate? How do you keep a larger share of the money you earn? Getting where you are took a lot of work. But believe it or not, there is a system in place that gives advantages to businesses. And this is where those secrets are most important. Because only those businesses that are positioned, that are planned and structured correctly, are able to take advantage of those systems. You just need to know what those advantages are and how to employ them into your business plan. We have experts, vetted professionals that work with us to make sure you get every advantage afforded you. So how do we increase profits from existing revenues? Well, the number 1 answer is tax reduction. I used to do forensic accounting. Some of the clients of this firm were realtors. It disturbed me doing their books because their liabilities were so large. They make a lot of money in your commissions. But if you're giving away 40 to 50% of that in taxes to different federal, state, local, it doesn't make any sense. And so I always knew that there was a simple solution for them, But I could never get my boss to understand that if we needed to talk to them and make sure that they understood these secrets and the system that's in play that could reduce their tax liability by as much as 70%. I mean, if you're making $200,000 a quarter on commissions and you're paying $70,000 to the tax man, 70%, that's 50 grand that you could put back in your pocket just because you knew how to structure your business and put it in a proper position to save on that tax liability. Estate planning and entity structure are just as important and impacting on cash resources. These are all parts of wealth management, and it also includes the retirement planning. A wealth management company are professional services that offers high net worth individuals advice on investments, taxes, accounting, retirement planning, legal estate planning, and more. The ultimate goal of any wealth manager is to understand their client fully and determine exactly what's important to that client and why. After this, the manager is able to more accurately decide which financial experts need to be consulted. Tax strategies involve many aspects of business planning. Compliance with state regulations is critical for real estate companies. Just a little heads up on reducing tax liability. No one is going to tell you how to do that. It's your responsibility to find out how, and then it's your responsibility to employ those tactics. Because no one is going to volunteer information to you about how to avoid paying taxes, especially the tax people. IRS isn't going to tell you. They have a lot of information on their website, and it's worth visiting just to find out what they have to say about things. But they're not going to volunteer information that reduces your payments to them. It's up to you. It's your responsibility to avoid paying taxes. And that's what we want you to know. And we know how to do this exclusively. For instance, taking some simple deductions, let's take one of, I believe that most of you will be familiar with, laundry, dry cleaning. If I were to ask 90% of accountants and CPAs if laundry or dry cleaning is a deductible expense, they would automatically just say no. However, if we ask our CPAs, the answer is maybe, because it depends. If you do a lot of traveling, then yes, it is deductible, provided you do the laundry on the road, because it's now a travel expense. Understand, though, that both these people are correct. They both answered to the best of their ability. My question to you is, who would you rather have working for you? These are the simple differences that add up to extreme savings. Every strategy starts with a goal. And the question now is, how do we meet those goals and the best way possible? We start with planning everything around how your estate is formed and executed. Do you have a family trust? If not, we're going to set one up for you. If you have one, we're going to make sure that it's fully funded. Because I can't tell you how many people I run across that actually put together a family trust, but then they never funded the trust. And that's like a huge mistake, because if it's never funded, basically it doesn't exist. So we want to make sure that your trust is in place. And then we're going to find out if you're married, if you've been married before, and how many children you have, and if you have children from another marriage. Do you have partners that need to be compensated or taken care of in the estate plan? So these are all the questions that we'll be asking. We're going to ask you if your will is up to date. Basically, also, if you even have a will. Do you have the medical directives in place in case you become incapacitated or maybe unable to perform? The power of attorneys that needs to be put in place. And then, of course, we come to everybody's favorite, retirement. I don't know why, but it's the last thing on anybody's mind. It was the last thing on my mind. We want to know if you have a retirement plan in place, because I didn't. I didn't even think about it until I turned 50. And believe me, that's a little late. And so I had to ask myself, how can I retire? And how do I retire? I had a lot of catching up to do. And believe me, with a simple 401 or maybe an IRA that's in place today that most of you have, it's impossible to get that kind of funds put in place for the kind of retirement that I expected. Because believe me, I didn't want to lower my standard of living when I retire. I wanted to make sure that I kept my standard of living. I wanted to make sure that I didn't lose anything. And I made sure that the money that's there is going to support me not only through my lifetime, but through my kids. So it's called generational wealth. And those are the kind of things that we try to set up for everybody. Actually, those are the things that we do set up for everybody. After you retire, it's not the time to discover how long your retirement income will last. And it's also very hard to accept the possibility that you may have to go back to work because you don't have enough money to live on. And most retirees today have to lower their standard of living to adjust to their retirement income. And we don't want to have that. So here's where the planning comes in place. Not only do we set up your estate, but now we're going to set up your business structure. How you set up your business is the most important step you can take to manage your future wealth. Each of these entities has a specific purpose. We have a sole proprietor. We have a DBA, or doing business as, which means the same thing as a sole proprietor. You just have another alias that you work with. A C corporation is a completely separate entity, and so are limited liability companies. A limited partnership is also a separate entity. And then there's general partnerships. They really have more disadvantages than they have advantages in any purpose. But C corporations, limited liability companies, and limited partnerships, they all have specific purposes in your estate plan that will generate money and wealth on a generational basis, which means that not only can you leave money to your kids, but to your grandkids and their grandkids. These are the systems that are in place, as you know, for people like the Rockefellers or Hiltons, the people living off their great-great-grandfather's trust, and they don't really have to do any work. They just keep spending the money. And it seems to always arrive right at the time that's critical. In our introduction to generational wealth building, you will learn an entire system that works for you. It's the same system the wealthy use and continue to get wealthier with. Combining all these items into your wealth strategy affords you the highest advantage possible. You get to learn the safest way to avoid lawsuits. You learn tax strategies, how to structure and grow business opportunities, how to plan your estate to avoid probate, undue taxation, and how to transfer assets, and how to manage assets. You learn how to retire better, wealthier, and without compromising. How to transfer wealth to beneficiaries, sometimes charities, or how about a foundation that you have a special place in your heart for. But know this, as a business manager, your duty is to know how to get things done. You don't have to know everything about everything. You just need to know something about these things that you can delegate these to professionals that can execute the plan. You have enough to do to keep your business running. That's why we put this program together. And it's not for everyone. It's for the people that want to create generational wealth, the ones that want to create a legacy for their children and their grandchildren, people that want to put foundations together or charities. So this is specifically for professional people that want and desire to create generational wealth and want to protect everything they have created over time. In this course, not only will you learn this complete system, you will also have at your disposal complete access to our team of professionals. The same team our companies use to protect and create our wealth. These professionals are competent, they've been tested, and they've been vetted. So at this point in time, I'd like to present you with the generational wealth building concepts, and I would like to ask you to please set your call time. Right now, I'm going to repeat our primary goal, and that is to teach people to grow long-term wealth and protect that wealth over time. So click the button to reserve your private consultation for enrollment into this program. I really want to thank you for participating, and we look forward to talking with you soon.